Hey, scribes. Pasting and pinning. Yes, good. Everything is acting right. Can you hear? Can you hear Brooklyn outside? Medina Dina, what's up, girl? How are you? The countdown is officially on to your birthday. Today is June 1st. What we gonna do? How we gonna celebrate? All right, as folks get in here, I want to just introduce myself because for some of you, it may be your first time checking me out. I am Tiaga Smart Young. I'm a book coach. I'm an editor and self-publishing consultant. And this is Q&A Wednesday, where you ask a question and I answer it. So if you have a question about writing, publishing, journaling, how do I even start my book, definitely hit the link in bio and hit the Q&A Wednesday option, and you will get your question answered here on a Wednesday. So for those of you who don't know, I teach experts. I teach coaches, consultants, and experts like you. Maybe you're a money guru. Maybe you're a parenting guru. Maybe you are a brand strategist. I teach you guys how to use your experience and your expertise to create brand building nonfiction books, right? Because there's nothing that screams authority more than having a book and becoming an author. All right, so before we get into Q&A Wednesday, I want you guys to know that I created a freebie for you. This is a brand new freebie because when I did the live about developing your writing voice, a lot of people were telling me that they had difficulty like figuring out what their writing voice should sound like. And excuse me if you can hear all of Brooklyn in the background, because it is like, it's time for the kids to get out of school. And so there's a lot of celebration going on behind me. So anyway, for a lot of people who have difficulty figuring out how should I sound, or they feel like they're imitating someone else's voice, there really is a way for you just to practice what your voice should sound like. And so I created this workbook that's in the link. Definitely hit the link. If you're watching live, it's called Pop on the Page. Pop on the Page, and it's 3 strategies, 3 activities to help you supercharge your writing voice. And if you're watching on the replay, same deal. Just hit the link in bio and you will be able to access the Pop on the Page workbook. And it really is very, very simple. You'll get access to activities. You'll get access to a free training from me that focuses on really the 3 elements that influence your writing voice. There are multiple elements, but there's really 3 that I like to focus on. And then you'll also have an opportunity to have a one-on-one coaching session for free with me for 20 minutes. So definitely get the Pop on the Page workbook. If your writing is so boring that when you're writing things, you putting yourself to sleep. Like we just can't do that, right? All right, so let me get into today's question. Let me scroll. All right, today's question, the person said, creating an outline zaps my creativity. Why can't I get to it? Why can't I just get straight to it? All right, let me tell you why. First of all, I do not believe that creating an outline zaps your creativity. What I believe is that when we were in elementary school and our teachers taught us how to outline, they taught us a very rigid structure. And even I, as a professional writer and professional editor, do not like that rigid structure. Because it doesn't allow for creativity. So first, you should know that there are multiple ways for you to quote unquote outline that don't involve that structure, that don't involve Roman numerals, and that don't zap your creativity, because that's a whole lot. All right. The second thing you should know is I want you to take the word outline out of your vocabulary just for a hot second. And I want you to think of it as either a story map or a blueprint or even a plan, right? And the reason why I say blueprint is because I want you to think about it like this. If you were having your mansion built, your condo, your house built, wouldn't you feel more secure knowing that the person who's building the place you're about to live, your structure, your home, was using a blueprint, right? Okay, so if you don't know what a blueprint is very simple. It is a detailed visual representation of what is about to be built. And in this case, we're talking about a home, right? And so that means that the architect, the contractor, the builders, they're all on the same page when it comes to building your home. So if you're having a 3-family house built or you're having this ranch house built, everyone's on the same page. Everyone knows what they need to do. Guess what would happen if everyone wasn't on the same page? Your pool might end up in your living room, or your toilet might end up where your bed should be, right? So that's why they use a blueprint. It is a document for them to move from just the foundation of the house, right? We first starting with the drawing and then moving on to the foundation and building and then getting the final product. So take that same concept and now think about it in terms of your story blueprint, or your story map, or your story plan, right? Without it, your pieces of your story are all over the place, and that's not going to work. So that's why I teach my clients either to think of their outline as either chapter summaries or chapter sequences, right? Because that's really just a setup of how this thing is going to go from beginning to middle to end. That's really what it is. So it's just the flow of your story. So, I love examples. So here's an example. So let's say you are a parenting strategist, and one of your pillars of content that you teach to people is the issues that they'll run into when they're going to adopt a child, right? All right. So let's say you have 5 core issues or 10 core issues. These chapter summaries or sequences, they do 3 important things. Now stay with me because these are important. 1, they give you an overview of the points that you are about to explain to your most valuable reader, right? I call them, your readers are not just readers, they're your most valuable reader, because you're teaching them and they're going to now buy your book and hopefully your future course or your speech or whatever, right? So you're teaching them your content, and so they need to be able to understand your points. So it gives you an overview of the points. That's the first thing. Second is to see if the material that you're about to teach your most valuable reader, are there holes in what you're about to say, right? Because if you don't have maybe plan 1, step 1, or core value number 1 that you need to teach them has some holes in it, how else are you going to see that if you haven't laid it out? If you haven't actually written some summaries about what's going to go into the chapter, if you haven't figured out how to sequence these chapters, right? From 1 to 10 or 1 to 12 or whatever. And 3, which is super important too, the overall function is that it provides a plan for you to get from core value or core issue number 1, core issue in this case, because we're teaching parents how to, prospective parents how to adopt children. If your core issue, it teaches them how to go from 1 to 5. You're the expert. They're relying on you for the information. So you need to be able to seamlessly take them through the 10 or the 5 or the 6 core value steps. And you can't do that if you can't see it. So you absolutely need your chapter sequences, your chapter summaries to do that, right? And I'm using sequences and summaries interchangeably. So for me, that's really why it's important, because the other thing is that you want to make sure you can deliver on your promise. Like, that's the big thing. If your book is supposed to be the definitive, the be all, ends all, and let's take parenting out of it for a second, but let's say you're a money guru, because one of my clients right now is working on, she's actually finished writing her book and she's in the production phase, and she's teaching people the 10 steps to help them not only to save but to eliminate debt. She eliminated $90,000 worth of debt, which included student loans and credit cards, in a short amount of time. And so she has to teach you the steps on how to do that. She couldn't do that if she didn't have her chapter summaries. She can't teach you, and like, what are the steps? You got to be like, step 1, right? Step 1, stay out of Fashion Nova. Step 2, stay out of Fashion Nova. Whatever it is that she's teaching. I'm teasing, of course, but that's an example of how you have to approach it. Okay. All right, so for me, that is the reason why you cannot get straight to it, because it is quite difficult to just jump straight into an idea if you have not mapped it out. And of course, I like to use my blueprint example for you guys to understand that, okay? So that is all for now. Let me just say hi to people. Oh, straight out of Target. Listen, Mean Genius, you know how we go into Target, and it's just, you're going into Target for like, some Miss Jessie's or whatever, and then you come out and you got like 1,200 things. That's what happens. That's what happens. That's how you end up spending your money, right? Or it's like something that pops up all of a sudden. For me, it's like, I'm a junkie for courses. So I constantly buy courses, and it's like, yeah, you don't really need that course, T. Stop buying it. So that book will be out shortly, and as soon as she teases the information online, I'll be able to share that with you as well. So that is all for now. If you guys don't have any questions, I'm going to get out of here, but definitely scroll up. If you're watching live, you can definitely, or live or the replay, you can scroll up and hit Q&A Wednesday and leave your question there. Or you can also get the pop on the page, you can get the pop on the page workbook also in my bio. So definitely scroll up and hit link in bio and get that, because don't forget, it comes with a training, and it comes with an opportunity for one-on-one coaching with me, and you'll have the opportunity to also practice and develop. I don't like to say find anymore. I don't want to say find your writing voice. Develop your writing voice. Okay? All right. Talk to you guys later.